Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you are here today. Before we begin, take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and get ready because today's lesson is not just about English, it is about your life. In today's video, you will listen to a powerful motivational story. The English is clear and easy to understand. I will speak slowly and I will use simple words. This is perfect for intermediate learners at level B1 or B2. By the end of this video, you will feel inspired. You will also improve your listening skills, learn new vocabulary, and understand natural spoken English. Are you ready? Let's begin. There was once a man named Daniel. He was 35 years old. He lived in a small apartment in a busy city. Every morning he woke up, made coffee, and sat by the window. He watched people walking outside. He watched cars moving fast. He watched birds flying in the sky. And every morning he said to himself the same words, "One day I will start. One day I will learn that language. One day I will start that business. One day I will travel to those places I always dreamed about. One day I will tell the people I love how much they mean to me." But that one day never came. Weeks passed, then months, then years. Daniel was not a bad person. He was not lazy in the traditional sense. He went to work. He paid his bills. He ate dinner and watched television at night. He was doing what millions of people do every single day. But deep inside, Daniel felt something, a small, quiet feeling, like a gentle knock on a door that nobody answered. That feeling had a name, and its name was regret. Now let me ask you a question, and I want you to really think about it. Is there something in your life that you keep saying one day about? Maybe it is learning English, and right now you are already taking action. That is good. That is really good. But maybe there is something else, a dream, a goal, a conversation you need to have, a step you need to take. Because here is the truth, one day is not a day of the week. You cannot find it on a calendar. You cannot plan a meeting for one day. It does not exist unless you decide to make it exist. Today is the only day you truly have. One cold Tuesday morning, something happened to Daniel that changed everything. He was sitting at his desk at work. He was answering emails, the same emails he answered every day. And then his phone rang. It was his older brother, Marcus. "Daniel," Marcus said, "I need to tell you something." His voice was different, quieter, serious. "Dad had a heart attack last night. He is in the hospital. He is okay." But Daniel, it was close. It was very close. Daniel's hands started to shake. He could not speak for a moment. "Are you there?" Marcus asked. "Yes," Daniel said. "I'm here. I'm coming." He drove to the hospital. He walked into the room and saw his father lying in the hospital bed. His father, the man who had taught him to ride a bicycle, the man who had worked 2 jobs to pay for his education, the man who had always been strong, looked small and tired. His father opened his eyes and smiled weakly. "Daniel," he said, "I'm glad you came." They sat together for a long time. They didn't speak much. But in that silence, Daniel felt something shift inside him, something cracked open. That night, driving home, he said to himself for the first time, not one day, but tomorrow. No, not tomorrow either. Today. Life has a way of waking us up. Sometimes it wakes us up gently through a book, a conversation, a quiet moment of reflection. And sometimes it wakes us up loudly through pain, through loss, through fear. But the message is always the same. You do not have unlimited time. None of us do. And that is not a sad thought. That is one of the most powerful, motivating truths in the world. When you know that time is limited, you stop wasting it. Now I want to talk about something important. What does it actually mean to waste your life? Because I think many people misunderstand this idea. Wasting your life does not mean doing nothing. Many people are very, very busy and still wasting their lives. They are running fast, but in the wrong direction. Wasting your life means spending your precious time on things that do not matter to you and ignoring the things that do. You spend 3 hours every evening on your phone. You scroll through social media. You watch videos of strangers, you read comments from people you will never meet. And at the end of those 3 hours, you feel empty, you feel tired, you feel like you lost something but you are not sure what. That is wasted time, not because relaxing is wrong. Rest is important and necessary, but because you did not choose it. It just happened to you. You were not living, you were just passing time. Now think about another person. This person also had 3 hours in the evening, but they used 30 minutes to study English. They used 30 minutes to read a book. They used 30 minutes to call someone they love. And then they watched something enjoyable and went to bed feeling good. Same amount of time, completely different result. The difference is not talent. The difference is not luck. The difference is a decision, a small, simple, powerful decision. After his father came home from the hospital, Daniel made a list. He sat down with a pen and a piece of paper, and he wrote down everything he had been saying one day about. He did not type it on his phone. He wrote it by hand, because writing by hand feels more real, it feels more serious, it feels like a promise. His list was long. It surprised him. He had been carrying all of these dreams inside him for years, and he had never once written them down. Seeing them on paper changed something. They stopped being vague ideas floating in his mind. They became real. They became possible. He looked at the list for a long time. Then he chose one thing, just one. He did not try to change his entire life overnight. He did not make 100 new habits on Monday morning. He chose one small thing and decided to begin. He wanted to learn Spanish. He had wanted to learn it for over 10 years. Every time he heard someone speaking Spanish, in a restaurant, in a film, on the street, he felt a little pull in his chest, a wish, a longing. So he downloaded a language app. He opened it. He did his first lesson. It took 11 minutes. 11 minutes, that was all. And when he finished, he felt something he had not felt in a very long time. He felt proud of himself, not because he had done something great, but because he had done something real, something he actually said he would do and then actually did it. Here is something important that nobody tells you about motivation. People think motivation comes first and action comes second. They think you need to feel motivated before you can begin, so they wait. They wait until they feel ready. They wait until the right moment. They wait until they have more time, more energy, more confidence, more clarity, and they keep waiting because that feeling of perfect readiness almost never comes. The truth is the opposite. Action comes first, motivation comes second. You start even when you do not feel like it, even when you are tired, even when you are not sure. And then after you start, after you take that first small step, the motivation begins to grow, like a fire that starts with just one small spark. You do not need to be great to start, but you need to start to become great. That sentence is simple, but it is one of the most important things you will ever hear. Read it again slowly. You do not need to be great to start, but you need to start to become great. Daniel continued his Spanish lessons every day. Some days he studied for 30 minutes. Some days he studied for only 5 minutes, but he never skipped a day. He told himself 5 minutes is not nothing. 5 minutes is 5 minutes more than yesterday, and those 5 minutes added up. After 1 month, he could understand simple sentences. After 3 months, he could have basic conversations. After 1 year, he watched his first Spanish film without subtitles. He cried, not because the film was sad, but because he could not believe what he had done. He could not believe what a human being was capable of when they just showed up every single day, even imperfectly, even on bad days, even when nobody was watching. And something else happened too. Because Daniel had proven to himself that he could do one thing, he started to believe he could do other things. He started going to the gym, not to have a perfect body, but because moving his body made him feel alive. He started waking up 30 minutes earlier to have quiet time in the morning before the noise of the day began. He started calling his father every Sunday evening, not because it was a duty, but because he had learned, in that hospital room, that love is not a feeling you save for later. It is an action you take today. I want to tell you something about time. Right now, in this moment, you are spending your time watching this video and practicing your English. That is a good use of your time. You made a choice to learn. You made a choice to grow. And every moment you spend learning something real, something that builds your mind, your skills, your understanding of the world, that time is not wasted. That time is invested. Think about a farmer. A farmer plants seeds in the spring. He waters the ground. He removes the weeds. He works hard in the heat, and for a long time he sees nothing. The ground looks empty, but underneath something is growing. Something is happening that he cannot see yet. And then one day the green shoots appear, and then the plants grow tall, and then the fruit comes, and all of that hard, patient work becomes something real and beautiful and nourishing. Your learning is like that. Every English word you learn is a seed. Every lesson you complete is water. Every day you practice, even for just a few minutes, you are tending your garden. You may not see the results today. You may not see them next week, but they are coming. They are already happening, even when you cannot see them yet. Now let us talk about fear, because fear is one of the biggest reasons people waste their lives. They have dreams, but they are afraid of failure, afraid of what people will think, afraid of trying and not being good enough, afraid of starting and then stopping, afraid of being judged, afraid of being wrong. Fear is very clever. It does not always say I am afraid. It often says things like I am not ready yet. It says things like maybe later, when the time is right. It says I need to research more first. It says I am not talented enough. It says people like me don't do things like that. Fear wears many disguises, and the disguises are so convincing that we often believe them. But here is something I want you to understand about fear. Fear is not the opposite of courage. Fear and courage exist at exactly the same time. A courageous person is not someone who feels no fear. A courageous person is someone who feels afraid and moves forward anyway. Every person you admire, every person who has built something meaningful, every person who has changed their life or changed the world, every single one of them was afraid at some point. They did it afraid. They moved forward with shaking hands and a beating heart, and that is the only way it can be done. So do not wait for the fear to go away. It will not go away. Instead, make friends with it. Say, yes, I am afraid, and I am doing this anyway, because the life I want is on the other side of this fear, and I refuse to stay on this side forever. Daniel had been afraid too. He was afraid that it was too late for him. He was 35 years old. Not old, but not young either. He had lost years. He had wasted time. He had chosen television over books and scrolling over learning and waiting over doing for more years than he wanted to count. And part of him believed, maybe it is too late for me now. But then he remembered something his father had said in the hospital room. His father had held his hand and said in a quiet voice, Daniel, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is today. That sentence stayed with Daniel like a light that would not go out. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. It does not matter when you should have started. It does not matter how much time has passed. What matters is that you are still here. You are still breathing. You still have today. And today, right now, is enough to begin. There is a word in English that I want you to learn and remember. The word is intentional. To be intentional means to do things on purpose, to make conscious choices, to live your life deliberately, not by accident, not by habit, not because of what other people expect, but because you decided, you chose it, you meant it. Most people live accidentally. They wake up and let the day happen to them. They check their phone first thing in the morning, not because they chose to, but because it is a habit. They eat what is convenient, not what nourishes them. They spend time with whoever is around, not necessarily the people who help them grow. They do the work that is in front of them without asking whether this work is moving them toward the life they want. An intentional person is different. An intentional person wakes up and asks, what matters today? They make small choices that align with their values. They say no to some things so they can say yes to the things that truly matter. They are not perfect. They have bad days. They make mistakes. But they keep coming back to the question, is how I am spending my time today reflecting who I want to be? That is the question I want to leave with you today. Is how I am spending my time today reflecting who I want to be? You are learning English right now, and I want to acknowledge that. Learning a language is not easy. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes the willingness to make mistakes, to say the wrong word, to mix up the grammar, to feel embarrassed and confused and lost, and to keep going anyway. And the fact that you are here, watching this video, practicing your listening, not giving up, that tells me something about you. It tells me you are the kind of person who chooses growth over comfort. And that is one of the most important things a person can be. Because here is the truth about English and about any skill, really. The people who become fluent are not always the most talented. They are not always the smartest. They are not always the ones who started youngest or had the best teachers. The people who become fluent are the people who refuse to stop. The people who showed up when it was hard. The people who kept listening, kept reading, kept speaking, kept making mistakes and learning from them. Every day, a little bit, consistently, over a long time. That is the secret. It is not exciting. It is not magical. but it is true. Consistency over a long time beats everything else. Let me tell you one more part of Daniel's story. 3 years after that morning in the hospital, Daniel took a trip. He traveled to a Spanish-speaking country, something he had dreamed about for over a decade. He walked through the streets, he ate the food, he listened to the music, and he talked to people. Real conversations with real people in a real language that he had learned word by word, sentence by sentence, 5 minutes at a time, every single day for 3 years. A woman at a market asked him where he was from. He told her. She smiled and said his Spanish was beautiful, and Daniel laughed because he knew it was not perfect. He still made mistakes. He still searched for words sometimes, but it was real. It was his. He had built it himself, with his own time and effort and patience. Nobody had given it to him. He had earned it. That night, sitting at a little table outside a restaurant, watching the sun go down over a city he had always dreamed of visiting, Daniel wrote in his journal. He wrote, "I used to wait for my life to begin. I thought it was somewhere in the future, past some invisible line I hadn't crossed yet. But my life was always happening. Every day was my life. I just wasn't paying attention. Now I am paying attention. Now I am here, and it is beautiful." As we come to the end of today's video, I want to speak directly to you, not as a teacher to a student, but as one human being to another. You have dreams, I know you do. You would not be here if you did not have something inside you that wanted more knowledge, more connection, more possibility. That dream is important. Do not dismiss it. Do not tell yourself it is too small or too big or too late or too difficult. That dream is a signal. It is telling you something about who you are and who you could become. You have time, maybe not as much as you thought, maybe not in the way you imagined, but you have today, you have this hour, you have this moment, and that is enough. It has always been enough. And you have the ability to begin. Right now, not tomorrow, not on Monday, not when things are perfect. Now, with what you have, where you are exactly as you are. Do not waste your life waiting for your life to begin. It has already begun. It is happening right now. The question is, what will you do with it? Thank you so much for watching and for listening. You have just completed 20 minutes of English listening practice. Your brain has been working hard. You have heard new words, natural sentences, and real ideas. You have invested in yourself today, and that is never wasted. If this video helped you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Leave a comment below telling me one thing you are going to stop saying one day about and start doing now. I would love to hear from you. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember, the second best time to start is always right now. I will see you in the next video.